The streets have always had ties to the rap game, but Jimmy Henchman is one of the scariest dudes to ever be involved with the industry. He allegedly almost killed Tupac and 50 Cent.
Who did Henchman want to be? Chris Lighty. Who was we down with? Chris Lighty. Beef is inherited. Stop playing. Then I looked at game like, yo, this dude set up Pac. You from the West Coast. You got Tupac tatted on you.
And did I mention, promise to pay back Jimmy Henchman?
Tupac was there to get robbed. He owed Jimmy Henchman some money.
And right now, he's serving 2 life sentences for murder and trafficking. Today, we're breaking down the wild and brutal story of why people in the rap game are still terrified of him.
Y'all see how we starting the show? Yo said beef inherited.
Let's get right into it. Jimmy Henchman was born in Harlem but raised in Flatbush, Brooklyn. As a young kid in the streets, he ran with the crew called the Untouchables, and Jimmy wanted to make a name for himself in the trenches. He already had 2 gun charges by the time he was 16, and he ended up dropping out of school and spending a year on Rikers Island. And after being home for less than a year, he was booked for another shooting. Henchman made bail on the gun charge, but ended up catching a homicide case just a few months later.
Jimmy Henchman, he kept coming to meet me at different clubs. Yo, I want to talk to your brother. I said, okay, what you want to talk about? Jimmy, talk to me. I said, I want to talk to your brother. I said, Jimmy, I'm telling you, I'm going to get it to. Like, I don't lie. If you're going to tell me, I'm going to get it to Irv. And just talk to me. And then he said it again. And I said, I am Irv. What's up? And then, oh, yeah. And then it was tension. A lot of tension with Jimmy. Now, we didn't get into any conflict. We resolved it. But when you deal with predators, and I dealt with a lot of predators, you have to deal with them. They only respect power, strength. So if I didn't show Jimmy strength, it would have been probably a whole nother situation.
Chris Lighty pleaded guilty to the gun charge and got the murder case dismissed, but he still got hit with a 5 to 10 year sentence. When he was in prison, Jimmy linked up with a Black Panther leader named Richard Moore, who convinced him to go back to school and educate himself. So by the time Henchman was released in 1988, he had an associate's degree and was ready to take on the streets in a smarter way. Henchman spent 3 years hustling in the crack game. Then, one of his homies introduced him to the music industry. Around the same time, Tupac was becoming one of the hottest rappers in the world. He wasn't a superstar yet, but everyone knew that's where he was headed, and Henchman wanted to become his manager.
Is it true that Big Stretch was relaying messages to Tupac from Jimmy Henchman while Tupac was in the hospital?
All right, this is Majesty. Big Stretch's little brother. All right? Now, I'm telling you, one day we might do the story of Big Stretch, man. That's the ultimate betrayal. The ultimate betrayal now. Listen to what he got to say, because Jimmy was sending shots he was sending kites.
No. Pop, my brother told Pop what Jimmy said to us. He wasn't relaying no message to Pop. Ain't nobody called. Look, I told you Nichols got hit, right? Nichols is our fam too. You know what I'm saying? Pop got hit, Nichols got hit. You know what I'm saying? Now, even though we might be on a smaller level than whoever these niggas is that's supposed to did that to Pop, we still get it in. And the city knows it. You know what I'm saying? We don't play no games. So when niggas heard that, when Nichols got hit and niggas is like, we think we know where it came from. Now Pop, like when the shit happened, Pop did something like he wasn't supposed to do. You know what I mean? Like he wasn't supposed to say all the shit that he was saying. You know what I'm saying? Because it's kind of like put niggas on point. Like, oh, word? You know what I'm saying? Shit, if it's like that, then I know it's gonna be these niggas moving. You know what I'm saying? So that's the rivers in the water started. Like niggas heard, you know what I'm saying? That, oh shit, especially I'm about to wild out. So niggas is rich now, nigga. Niggas is rich we talking about. These is rich goons, my nigga. Niggas got my mother's phone number. You hear me? And call my mom's crib like, Stretch, what's up, man? All I'm hearing is Young Gun's about to start killing everything moving, man. Now look, I tell you who this is. I'll tell you the level we at, but my brother still ain't punk out like, you know what I'm saying? But he couldn't say, yeah, nigga, we at you niggas. You know what? Nigga, we couldn't do that, nigga. We right here broke with our moms, you know what I'm saying? We bust our gun, but nigga, you know what I'm saying? So my brother like, nigga, if you would've heard that, it would've been done already, nigga. And he like, yo, Stretch, man, we don't want no beef with y'all, man. I got money for war, man. I got money for war though. You understand? This is towards us, Stretch and Young Guns. We into this because of Pac. You know what I'm saying? So of course my brother like, all right, when I see Pac, I'm gonna let him know, like, yo, you know what I'm saying? And he told Pac, yo, man, this nigga's talking about, you know what I'm saying? You got money for war, this, that, and the other, man. This nigga, it's real right now. Nigga, you got me in some shit. It's real.
Yo, when Pac got hit up, I'm not gonna lie, when Pac got hit up, all accounts of the situation, as I pieced it all together, I'm like, yo, that setup could have went a lot of different ways, bro. There's a lot of different ways that situation could have went down for speculation purposes. You know what I'm saying? But you heard what Majesty said, and that shit wasn't for Pac. That was let it be known, nigga. We heard y'all niggas is moving. So if y'all niggas gonna move, make sure you have your money now. You know what I'm saying?
Pac turned him down, and what Henchman did next changed the history of the entire rap game. One of Henchman's homies is a known dealer named Haitian Jack. According to rumors, Biggie warned Pac not to get involved with Jack, but Pac didn't listen. Everyone knows that Biggie and Pac ended up starting the biggest war in rap history, but back in the day, they were actually tight. But after Haitian Jack and Jimmy Henchman got involved, everything changed. Pac met Henchman through Haitian Jack. Even though Pac didn't want to be managed by him, Henchman allegedly offered him $7K to hop on a track with his artist, Lil Sean.
I mean, did you guys ever have a Tupac conversation, you and Jimmy?
We had a Tupac conversation.
How did that go?
It's funny, man, and I hope Jimmy don't want to head up fade because I'm talking about this, but I feel like that's my brother. I love him to death. I really feel like in my soul of souls that he gonna get some of his time knocked off in the end, and he gonna be able to come home and continue being a father and being who he really is at heart. And I hope that happens for him. But I had because Pac was saying that, Jimmy Henchman and Haitian Jack set him up in New York on the elevator, got him shot.
Right.
Well, the story is that they were going to, address Pac about some shit that he was saying and shit that he was doing on record and off record in the streets. And that, they did, have what they needed to, go address the situation in case they needed to defend themselves. But Pac also had a gun on him and needed to defend himself.
He had his shirt off in the session, and I could see the bullet holes, you know what I mean? The scars. And it's intense when you see someone's bullet holes. It kind of puts it into perspective. It's not like tattoos.
Yeah.
It's like where the flesh is, you know what I mean? It's like flares out like that, like in lines. And it's like pretty intense. And he had like 6 or something like that, or whatever it was, on his chest.
Pac was fighting a sexual abuse case at the time and needed the cash, so he headed to Quad Studios in Times Square with his homie Stretch and a couple of other dudes. Puffy and Biggie were up in the studio too, but Pac didn't get the chance to link up. When he walked into the lobby, 3 dudes jumped out to rob and shoot him. After the Quad Studios shooting, Tupac accused Puffy, Biggie, Henchman, and others of being involved with setting them up. That night sparked the beef between him and Biggie, which eventually led to the war between the East and West Coast and ended with both of them being killed.
Tupac was there to get robbed. He owed Jimmy Henchman some money. He was refusing to pay Jimmy Henchman the money, so Jimmy Henchman said he could work it off by doing a song with Little Sean or whatever. You understand what I'm saying? So now, check this out, brother. Puff was there to spy on Big. You understand? What did Little C say? I didn't even know Puff was in the studio. So how they could see Little C's, they could see Tupac out the window coming in the building, but they don't know Puff is there in the studio. Did you ever think about that? Why does Puff stop by Lil C's session? He want to catch Big writing for them. He want to catch Big's doing songs with them so he could prove. And now he got Andre Harrell with him as a witness. Do you understand me? They go see Jimmy Henchman. What do Jimmy Henchman tell him? Andre Harrell can't stand fucking Tupac. You understand? Puff can't stand Tupac. What do you think the conversation with Jimmy Henchman and Andre Harrell and Puff in that office when they know Tupac is coming up there? What do you think the conversation is? Hold that thought. I'm about to straighten this little nigga out. He gonna stop talking reckless to me. I got somebody that's gonna tighten his ass up. What they didn't know was, in tightening Pac up, if you come to bring some, you gonna get some.
Pac aired Henchman out on the track Against All Odds and said, "Promise to pay back Jimmy Henchman in due time. I know you is listening, the world is mine. Set me up, wet me up, stuck me up. Heard the guns bust, but your tricks never shut me up." Henchman always denied being involved, but in 2011, his homie Dexter Isaac claimed that Jimmy paid him to rob Tupac. Isaac had known Henchman since they were teenagers, and right now, he's serving a life sentence for other crimes. According to him, Henchman gave him $2,500 to rob Tupac and let him keep all the jewelry they snatched except one ring, which Henchman wanted to keep for himself. He also said that Stretch helped them and that Henchman gave Stretch a quarter brick of cocaine to line his homie up. Stretch ended up getting murdered a year later, and Pac sent shots at him on Against All Odds with the line, "And that nigga that was down for me, resting dead. Switch sides, guess his new friends wanted him dead."
I remember the first time I went to your office, there was a big frame picture, photograph on one of your walls, and it had Tupac on it wearing a Henchman Entertainment t-shirt. Now, a few years ago, there was a guy named Dexter Isaac that came forward who claimed that you were connected to the Tupac shooting. Do you have anything to say about that?
No, 100%. I've never ducked from answering any Tupac questions, which I could understand if I don't know how Quad Studio morphed into, like, I was in Vegas and was part of the shooters that actually ended in his demise. Now, let me say, me and Tupac were friends. And me and him were friends. I had nothing against Tupac. I liked him. He was younger than me. I'm sure that he looked up to me. There's many moments that me and Pac had that were very intimate, where he's talked to me about things that he was afraid of, or things that he loved to do, and all of those kind of things. Here it is, you have a prosecutor, and you have a guy who's in jail for life. When they pulled Dexter down to interview him in regards to what he knew about me and Tupac and so on and so forth, I have no doubt at this point that Dexter probably was the guy or one of the assailants on Tupac. But Dexter's story just doesn't make sense.
Henchman still denied everything after Isaac told his side of the story, but then he allegedly admitted to being involved while he was confessing in an unrelated drug case. Jimmy was never charged with the Quad Studio shooting, but later he ended up in the middle of an even crazier beef.
Dexter tells a story that I wanted a ring for my fiance, and so I tell him to get the diamond ring from Tupac so I can give it to my fiance, and so on and so forth. He tells this magical story. The only person that can believe such a story is Todd Kaminsky, who was the prosecutor who was trying to make something out of nothing. Dexter tried to sell a bill of goods to Todd Kaminsky, and they had no verification. But, you know, I don't know why people gravitate to Dexter's story. Why is that the only plausible story? Because Tupac wasn't alone that night. He was with other people that night. So I don't know how Dexter, who comes out of nowhere, and he gives this fabulous story about you know, I'm not even sure what he pretty much says, but I know he says that I hired him to do it.
Now y'all ready for a story, man? Y'all ready for an exclusive, man? That nigga had beef with 50 Cent. Y'all niggas know 50 Cent don't play that shit.
Total nonsense, man.
When Henchman went to war against 50 Cent and G-Unit, there were shootings, assaults, and a brutal murder that led to him getting his second life sentence. In the early 2000s, Henchman was managing the Game. Game had been signed by Dr. Dre, who linked up with 50 Cent, and back then, it looked like they were gonna take over the whole game together. But
who wanted to be like Chris Lighty? Jimmy Henchman.
Yeah.
What did Jimmy Henchman do? Move on the same block as Chris Lighty? Who did Chris Lighty have? LL, Diddy, Free, 50, Buster. He ran the tunnel at 18. Who did Henchman want to be? Chris Lighty. Who was we down with? Chris Lighty. Beef is inherited. Stop playing.
50 Cent the rapper, he'll be known as 50 Cent the rapper, and 50 Cent the street legend will be known as 50 Cent the street legend. There's no comparison. To me, that's a great honor to know that I knew that person who influenced that. I'm not living the fantasy of the music business.
Well, don't give me no pass, man. I don't deserve passes. I'm a f***ed up. Okay? You should do something to me. You understand what I'm saying? Send mixed messages, you know? But now that I got your address, if we go there, we'll be on your doorstep.
both of them were at the height of their careers, and the collab seemed like a huge win, but it didn't take long for everything to fall apart. According to Henchman, 50 was mad that the Game was popping off so much as a solo artist, and when Game wouldn't hop into all of 50's beef with other rappers, 50 cut him out of G-Unit and sparked their legendary beef. Most rap fans know all about how the Game and 50 ended up getting into a shootout in New York, but there was something even crazier going on at the same time that a lot of people have no clue about.
Boy, I ain't no motherfucking punk, and I ain't nobody's soldier, and I don't follow suit like J.O. and Space. I'm a real, and that's why they kicked me out the group, and I still don't give a to be mad at me, man. I'm a real, and I'm always gonna be the real. Documentary in stores, 4 times platinum worldwide. Y'all heard me do it. So make sure.
Hey man, that nigga Jimmy, man. See, that's why I don't like them old school niggas, man. Now you know Jimmy told him to do that. Go out there and say, she do not. You know? Well, Jimmy, why you don't tell him how he gonna pay his bills now?
2007, 50's homie Tony Yayo and another rapper named Lodi Mack ran into Jimmy Henchman's 14-year-old son, Lil Henchman, on the street. According to rumors, Lil Henchman was wearing a G-Unit shirt, so Lodi and Yayo pressed him over it. They pushed him up against the wall, and Yayo allegedly started slapping him. Then, Lodi Mack took it a step further and pistol whipped the kid. Yayo and Lodi were both booked on assault charges, but Yayo's case was eventually dismissed. But before he even went to court, Yayo's mother's house was shot up, and pretty much everyone believes Henchman was behind it. Yayo talks about it on the track Straight Outta Southside and said, "Yeah, y'all motherfuckers shot my mama crib up. My sister, my niece in there. I'm getting y'all hit for $500. I'ma be in London, motherfucker." Lodi Mack pleaded guilty to aggravated assault over the Lil Henchman case and was sentenced to a couple of years in prison. But while he was behind bars, the beef in the streets was just heating up. The same year that Yayo and Lodi Mack put hands on his kid, Jimmy Henchman tried to take 50 and Yayo out while they were filming a music video.
Because your man did a year and then got killed when he came out.
Yeah, the actual hitman it's all documented. Like, you could look it up, so I don't want to seem like I'm dry snitching. It's like, if you read Jimmy Henchman case, all this is documented. But the hitman was actually in jail with my friend. So he befriended him in jail. And then when he got home, that's the same hitman that was his friend in jail. It was the actual hitman. All the dudes
How fucked up is that?
I mean, it just tells you,
how
anybody will
fucked up
do anything for the money. You know what I'm saying? I had money on my head plenty of times. Like, when I was locked up on the island, I heard money on my head. I had so-called money on my head in the street. You know what I'm saying? 50 so-called had money on his head. Everybody is just a part of, fucking with 50 Cent and being a part of G-Unit. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. You live and you learn. That's why when I see these rap beefs, I know how serious it can get.
50 was filming the video for his collab track with Akon, I'll Still Kill. when Henchman and his goons rolled up with silenced guns. But before they could hop out and start shooting, one of the guns went off in the whip and they ended up just leaving the scene.
It was the filming of the 50 Cent and Akon I'll Still Kill video.
Oh. On the paperwork, and Henchman and them were supposed to come through, and I guess they gun jammed, but we had God on that side, and they backed out on the hit, but we had straps too, and that really was really it.
You said they had silencers?
Yeah.
And this was part of the actual report that came out?
Yeah.
If Henchman's people started letting off shots, it would have turned into a full-on shootout because everyone in the G-Unit crew was strapped too.
Now, you brought up Jimmy Henchman. Yeah. Going through a tough time is the understatement. That's about as much as I could muster up to say about it.
No matter how you look at it. Look, I'm from Southside Jamaica, Queens. I don't like Supreme. I don't like Eminem. But he lived the way he actually projected himself. His lifestyle is consistent.
He was true to it.
He never ratted on nobody. Just like that. You see what I'm saying? And Jimmy's a different kind of guy. He telling everybody. He solved the last 10 years of criminal activity in New York City in 10 minutes. The DA said, hold on, chill out, stop. Stop, boy, you're going to make it like I don't even work. The DA asked him to stop. Stop, man. You're going to make like we're not even working here.
Luckily, nobody died that day because someone with Henchman didn't know how to handle their gun. There's also rumors that Henchman had 50's house burned down, but there's no evidence to back it up. But what we do know is that when Lodi Mack was released in 2009, he was murdered in the middle of the street just 2 weeks later. Everyone connected Henchman to the murder immediately, but it took years before he was officially charged. While the cops were working on the Lodi Mack case, Henchman ended up going down on a totally different charge. In 2010, he was booked on cocaine trafficking, money laundering, and witness tampering. According to the prosecution, Henchman was running a massive drug ring that operated from the East to West Coast and was bringing him in over $11 million per year.
Apologize. I want to apologize to the massive for letting these sucker ass catch me out there like that. I talk about suckers, I'm talking about those who perpetrated to be either my friend, who were wearing wiretaps, who got on the stand and lied, man. I want to apologize to those that I let down for letting some suckers play me. And I just want you to know, man, that I didn't know. I just didn't know that these dudes was that jealous. That jealousy would allow them or make them do the things that they did. And it's almost like a sucker killed me, man. It's like I let a sucker come down on me, man, and beat me up and kill me, man. And this is the same feeling. It's almost like it's parallel together. And so I want to apologize to all those who have lost their life, dedicated their life to the game. I want to apologize to you for what I allowed to happen to me. I am very sorry. Trust you me. Brian McLeod to kill Llewellyn Fletcher. You know, one of the things that I did ask Brian McLeod to do was I asked him to bring Fletcher or Yayo to me. So took it upon himself and he killed Llewellyn Fletcher.
Henchman and his crew would ship drugs from LA to New York, then ship cash back to LA from New York after it was sold. They didn't have to use their own vehicles to move weight either. Instead, they covered everything in mustard to throw off drug dogs and shipped it through FedEx and UPS. Jimmy was handed down a life sentence, and the judge said his crimes were astonishing in their breadth, duration, and intensity. While he was locked up on the drug charges, Henchman was charged for the death of Lodi Mack in 2012. His own shooters flipped on him, and there were over 35 witnesses in the trial. And in 2014, he was found guilty and got hit with another life sentence. Part of the reason why Henchman went down is because his own people turned on him. But according to rumors, he was an informant too and helped the feds put other dealers behind bars. Henchman and his lawyer have called cap on the story, but 50 Cent says the same thing. Most rap fans know that a drug dealer in Queens, known as Kenneth Supreme McGriff, is the dude who allegedly had 50 shot 9 times back in the day. McGriff is also serving a life sentence on a murder for hire case right now, and obviously, him and 50 aren't friends. But even though Supreme tried to have him killed, 50 gives him more credit than Henchman, because according to him, Supreme stayed down with the streets and never snitched.
I don't like Supreme. I don't like Supreme in him, but he lived the way he actually projected himself. His lifestyle is consistent.
He was true to it.
He never ratted on nobody.
But Henchman told on everyone.
And Jimmy's a different kind of guy. He told on everybody. He solved the last 10 years of criminal activity in New York City in 10 minutes.
Henchman has been behind bars for over a decade, but some people are afraid that he might not be there for long. According to reports, Donald Trump planned on cutting Henchman's sentence short before he left office and said, "Let's get this guy home for Christmas." The official pardon never came, but now Henchman's lawyer says his sentence no longer exists because of what Trump allegedly said. It's been 2 years since they started fighting to get him out, but as of right now, it doesn't look like there's been any movement in the case. Henchman might end up spending the rest of his life in prison, but if he gets lucky and is granted an early release, anybody who crossed him will need to watch their backs.
Jimmy Henchman, bro. What a name in hip-hop history. Unfortunately, the brother will never see the light of day. You know what I'm saying? I don't know which way to put it, but I can say the man had a lot of influence. He did a lot of great things if he would have, you know what I'm saying, put his energy in different places. You know what I'm saying? For all now that we know what you did to Lodi, it's not too far-fetched to think that you, and we know what you did to Tony Yayo in the mama house. It ain't too far-fetched to think, you know what I'm saying, you paid Stretch and them niggas and the Quiet Studio should happen.